What matters is what we have on the inside.
You know, I've had enough of you. First that thing at lunch, and now this?
What happened at lunch?
Shouldn't you know?
Yeah, come on, honey. We don't need this place. Honey?
It was just a single frame, no dialogue, no movement, no obvious identifiers. But for fans who've been following the saga between South Park and the Sussexes, it may as well have been a full-blown siren, a massive animated mega-yacht bobbing on crimson-colored waves, just offshore from what looks suspiciously like a cartoon version of Montecito. One shadowy figure reclined near the bow, clutching a swirling pink drink, and another, freckled, red-haired, and fully clothed, frantically dog-paddling behind. That was all it took.
Who's that?
That's your nephew, Archie.
You're pulling my leg. Why have we not met before?
You've met him like 1,000 times.
The internet didn't need confirmation. It didn't even need a name. Within hours, fans declared the yacht-girl lore was back. Not only back, but bolder, bloodier, and ready to blow the entire Sussex brand sky high. The teaser dropped without warning. No announcement, no credits, not even a South Park logo stamped in the corner. Just a grainy 5-second clip reportedly embedded inside a late-night reel from Comedy Central's B-side animation slate. It was blink and you'll miss it material, unless of course you were looking for it. And clearly someone was. Because the second it aired, it exploded. X accounts with less than 500 followers began posting grainy screenshots. Discord servers lit up with side-by-side comparisons from last season's worldwide privacy tour. TikTok editors raced to slap trending sounds over the clip. Cue dramatic string music, slowed down Oprah quotes, and even the sound of champagne uncorking as the yacht bobs in sync with the beat. No one had to say who it was. Everyone already knew.
Damn it, now the prince is playing polo on the lawn.
We are here because privacy is a basic human right.
Within 12 hours, hashtag Megyacht was trending across 5 platforms. Memes multiplied like wildfire. One showed the animated brunette holding binoculars, scanning for relevance. Another, more brutal, labeled the floating yacht the SS Deflection, while a miniature cartoon Harry clung to a life preserver marked Still Spare. The humor wasn't subtle, but it never is when it comes to South Park. Especially not when it comes to these two. The minute that yacht came into view, the message was loud and clear. They're not done. Not even close. In fact, insiders say this could be just the beginning of another full-scale animated takedown, one that might make last year's satire look almost tame. Entertainment bloggers jumped on the buzz instantly. One even joked that the clip had set Archewell's firewall on fire. Another suggested the yacht scene may not even be the most damning one this time around.
So let me start with you, sir. You've lived a life with the royal family, you've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, When?
Because if early storyboard leaks are to be believed, and yes, some have already started circulating again, this new season is taking direct aim at the most sensitive piece of royal rumor mill history. The thing Meghan's team has allegedly tried to bury for years. The whisper that kept popping up in blind items, gossip forums, and buried search autofills, the yacht girl narrative. And the way South Park seems to be resurrecting it, it's not just satire, it's cultural defiance. As if the writers are daring Meghan to respond, to threaten them again, to even try to shut it down. But here's the real twist. Some fans think the leak wasn't a mistake at all, that someone inside the studio dropped it on purpose to test the waters, to stoke the fire before the full premiere hits. And if that's true, then what's coming next could be even nastier.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. I kind of took you out of your natural habitat. I'm surprised you're still breathing.
By dawn, Archewell was in full-blown panic mode. According to multiple insiders, some of whom have allegedly leaked before, the Foundation's internal Slack channels lit up with red flags within minutes of the teaser going viral. Notifications stacked into the hundreds. Staffers reportedly flooded the crisis comms channel, tagging senior leadership with variations of, "Is this real? How bad is it? And do we respond or wait?" But by the time a formal Zoom call was scheduled, it was already too late. The memes had reached global newsrooms. The narrative was out of their hands. South Park had dragged the most radioactive rumor in Meghan's history back into the spotlight, and the public wasn't looking away this time. Sources claim the emergency call that morning included at least 3 senior PR strategists, a media lawyer, and 2 outside branding consultants, flown in over the past few months to help course-correct the couple's fractured image. One of them, allegedly a veteran fixer who's worked with embattled CEOs, advised the team to get ahead of the joke, laugh with the internet, make a winking post, lean in before it swallows you whole. But not everyone agreed.
How dare you, sir? My Instagram-loving wife has always wanted her privacy!
According to one person briefed on the situation, Meghan was furious at the suggestion of brushing it off, that this wasn't just a punchline, it was a personal attack. she allegedly warned that letting it go would signal surrender, that not responding might look like weakness, and with the yacht narrative being the one rumor she's tried hardest to kill, silence wasn't an option. Not this time. The call, which reportedly lasted nearly 2 hours, ended with no consensus. Some on the team pushed for a soft rebuttal through allies in the press, maybe a planted article reminding readers that these were sexist, classist internet rumors with no basis in fact. Others floated the idea of going nuclear, issuing a formal legal warning to Paramount Global, South Park's parent company. But that's where the panic collided with déjà vu, because they'd been here before, back when Worldwide Privacy Tour aired. Threatening legal action only fueled the flames. It turned a cruel cartoon into an international headline. And this new teaser? It was arguably even more damaging, because it didn't need words. Just one yacht, one silhouette, one cultural wound, reopened on cue. The real problem, one advisor allegedly said, wasn't just what South Park might show next. It was the timing.
Hey guys! So funny bumping into you.
Yeah, I mean, we all live here now, so not that funny.
The Sussexes have been slowly rebuilding, launching product lines, signing lifestyle deals, and re-entering Hollywood spaces that had grown icy since their Spotify fallout. A hit like this right now could stall everything. Investors might get spooked, media allies might hesitate, and the public? Well, once a meme takes hold, there's no putting it back in the bottle. And then came the final twist. Hours after the crisis call, a short audio clip leaked online. A woman's voice, calm but tense, can be heard saying, "We either control this, or we get swallowed by it." Users on X claim it's Meghan. No confirmation yet, but if it is her, it means someone on that call is already leaking. For those new to the saga, the term yacht girl might sound like clickbait nonsense, but in certain online circles, it's practically folklore, a decades-old internet whisper. It first began circulating long before Meghan married into the royal family, when she was still a relatively unknown actress with a side hustle in calligraphy and a lifestyle blog. The core allegation, never confirmed and fiercely denied, was that she had spent time on ultra-exclusive Mediterranean yachts as a guest of billionaires and shadowy Hollywood intermediaries. The implication? That she wasn't there to sightsee, that these trips were part of a secretive, transactional social scene that many rising starlets allegedly passed through before landing their big break. It's the kind of rumor that thrives in blind item blogs, conspiracy-adjacent forums, and hushed DM threads. Never proven, always denied, but once heard, rarely forgotten.
She hates delete.
You need to knock it off, and you're hitting everyone with that table.
And that's exactly what makes South Park's latest animated jab so nuclear, because they didn't just float a yacht on screen, they floated a symbol. That boat wasn't a set piece, it was a dare, a provocation dressed up in cartoon waves and pink drinks, and if insiders are to be believed, the teaser isn't even the half of it. Leaked captions from an alleged internal storyboard pitch describe an entire sequence called Below Deck Montecito. In it, the cartoon Duchess character, unnamed but unmistakable, allegedly orders around a crew of fawning assistants, throws NDA-stamped cocktail napkins off the stern, and refers to herself as a global brand icon with flexible values. One animator, posting anonymously to a private subreddit, claimed the yacht segment was nicknamed the Forbidden Reel inside the studio because the legal team had flagged it as red zone risky from day one. And yet, they animated it anyway, which begs the question, why? Why poke this bear? Why resurrect the one allegation Meghan's team has reportedly spent years and untold sums trying to erase from public consciousness? According to one longtime South Park contributor, the answer is simple: escalation. You can only parody a brand reboot so many times before it loops on itself, he allegedly told a private Discord group. So now we're going deeper, into the myths, the things they don't want us touching.
I don't know what to do. How are we going to pay for school for Archie?
I have to tell you, I never realized so many things cost money. Like this chicken. I bet you had to pay for it.
If that quote is real, and fans have already compared its phrasing to the show's past scripts, it means we're not watching satire anymore. We're watching a demolition job. And this time, they're using blueprints pulled straight from tabloid shadow files. And here's the kicker: fans seem to love it. TikTok creators have already started making dramatic reenactments of the leaked captions, casting Meghan lookalikes in parody yacht scenes. Redditors are remixing the teaser frame with paparazzi photos from her pre-royal era. One viral post read, "This isn't even character assassination. It's a myth retold in HD. And if what we've seen is just the tip of the iceberg, what's hiding below deck might be even worse." Behind the scenes, legal teams aren't laughing. As the teaser spread across social media and triggered a full-on meme eruption, entertainment lawyers in Los Angeles and London reportedly began trading quiet emails, flagging the episode's potential to reopen one of the most fraught standoffs in recent television history. And that's saying something, because the last time Meghan and Harry were roasted on South Park, things got messy, not just in the headlines, but in the shadows. Within 48 hours of the worldwide privacy tour episode airing, several British outlets reported that Meghan was consulting lawyers over potential defamation, while others claimed she was preparing to launch a complaint with regulators. No formal suit ever materialized, but the firestorm made one thing clear. South Park had crossed a line the Sussexes weren't prepared to ignore, and now it looks like they've crossed it again. But this time, they may have planned to. According to one entertainment law insider, Paramount's legal department anticipated blowback from the yacht segment and greenlit it anyway. They ran a parody defense scenario 6 months ago, the source alleged. Everything was reviewed: visual likeness, dialogue, symbolism, the works. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit. Will you two just shut up and go away?
Another insider went even further, claiming the studio is banking on the controversy. They want Meghan to threaten legal action. It'll double the ratings overnight. They know it. She knows it. Everybody knows it. If that's true, it paints the teaser not just as satire, but as bait. Carefully constructed, lawyer-proofed, and designed to spark exactly the kind of public meltdown that can't be bought with ad dollars. What makes this different from last year's fallout is how openly the legal conversation is playing out this time. British tabloids have already published op-eds urging Meghan to let it go, while American media lawyers have weighed in on cable news, mostly defending South Park's right to lampoon public figures under First Amendment protections. But it's not just US laws in play anymore. A London-based media firm reportedly tied to royal family litigation has been reviewing footage, according to 2 separate sources close to the case. No one said why, and no names have been attached. But speculation is already swirling. Could a royal-adjacent entity be quietly considering legal backup? Not to defend Meghan and Harry, but to protect the monarchy from future fallout? Because here's the quiet fear in elite circles: not that Meghan sues, but that South Park keeps going. That the yacht scene is just the appetizer. That a future episode might parody other sensitive stories. Diana rumors, Charles scandals, even William and Kate's carefully protected personas. The Sussexes may be the entry point, but satire doesn't stop once the floodgates open, and that's what has insiders whispering that Meghan isn't the only one worried. The palace may be silent on the surface, but behind closed doors, contingency plans are being drawn. Because if this episode goes where some fear it might, no one escapes unscathed.
Hey, can you two keep it down?
Hey! You ever heard of a thing called privacy?
By the time the sun had fully risen over Montecito, the internet was already on fire. TikTokers were splicing the yacht teaser with clips from Meghan's past interviews, soundtracking it with everything from Royals by Lorde to slowed-down snippets of her British Vogue speech. Fan accounts rebranded her cartoon version as Captain Spin and created mock trailers for a fake Bravo crossover called Real Royals of the Riviera. The memes were relentless, the edits were cruel, and yet they were everywhere. There was no containing the moment. #Meghan Yacht dominated search trends across 5 countries. On Reddit, one thread dissected the angle of the cartoon sun hat, matching it frame by frame to paparazzi photos from Saint-Tropez in 2013. Another post compared the animated wine label to Meghan's now infamous rosé brand, calling it as ever vintage damage control. And just like that, the meme machine became something much scarier, an optics wildfire. Because when jokes start interfering with brand strategy, reputational consultants take notice. Multiple marketing analysts told The Wrap that this kind of virality can torpedo luxury partnerships. Once your image is associated with ridicule, especially ridicule tied to status inflation or authenticity gaps, it becomes harder to sell aspiration, one expert explained. People don't want to drink wine sold by a cartoon. They want to feel elite. Satire breaks the spell. That spell was already fragile. Meghan's recent rosé launch, heavily tied to wellness, empowerment, and a curated soft life aesthetic, was barely out of the gate, but 2 separate insiders now claim that post-teaser, at least one lifestyle partner is re-evaluating future collaborations. Another source says a European branding agency that had been in talks to expand the As Ever product line into high-end travel accessories suddenly went quiet, ghosted, no returned emails, no follow-up.
We want privacy! We want privacy!
When asked if it was related to the South Park storm, the source shrugged. No one wants to say it out loud, but of course it is. The Sussexes have always fought hard to control their public narrative, but this is different. This isn't a rogue tabloid headline or a badly timed paparazzi shot. This is cultural. It's everywhere, all at once, and it's sticky. The yacht symbolism, unconfirmed, denied, unverifiable, has now been rendered in the most accessible visual medium of all, adult animation. And when the most viral joke of the week is a crying cartoon prince being sprayed in the face with sunscreen by a Daily Mail drone, it becomes very difficult to hold a press conference about dignity. To make matters worse, an alleged voice note began circulating late Thursday, In it, a woman, whose identity hasn't been confirmed, can be heard saying, "They think this is just a joke, but I'm telling you, it's sabotage." The clip was posted to X by a Sussex-themed gossip account and immediately went viral. Supporters claimed it was Meghan, taken out of context. Critics called it a meltdown. No confirmation either way. But one thing's clear, the internet isn't done laughing yet. While Meghan's team scrambled behind the scenes, Harry reportedly went quiet. Too quiet if you believe the whispers coming out of their inner circle. One source close to a longtime friend claims he's been in lockdown mode, barely responding to messages and visibly agitated during private video calls. Another, more pointed rumor alleges that Harry's recent WhatsApp chats include a single desperate question, repeated more than once: "Can we sue a cartoon again?" The phrasing itself became a meme within hours of leaking. And just like that, the prince wasn't just a background figure in the yacht parody. He was the punchline. The brutal irony is that Harry has spent years trying to craft an identity separate from the royal machine. But lately, especially in moments like this, he ends up right back in the middle of the circus. And unlike the polished interviews or the carefully edited docu-series, this version of him, the animated, bumbling, rosé-soaked parody, sticks in people's heads. It's exaggerated, yes, but to many viewers, it feels true. The helpless husband, the PR puppet, the spare still clinging to a title while pretending to reject it. South Park didn't just mock him, they froze him in a cartoon version of the narrative he's tried desperately to outgrow.
Park County Police Station, what's your emergency?
Yeah, the neighbors across the street are setting off fireworks and it's 10:30 at night.
Oh, is it the Prince of Canada and his wife who just want to be left alone?
And according to people who've known him long before the headlines, it's starting to take a toll. One insider who claims to have attended the couple's recent Montecito charity dinner said Harry seemed distracted, withdrawn, and very much not in on the joke. Another claimed Meghan was working the room while Harry hovered near the bar, politely nodding but rarely speaking. No confirmation, of course, but it tracks with a pattern. Because every time their image starts to stabilize, another cultural gut punch seems to knock them off course. Spotify, South Park, yacht rumors, meme spirals. It's no longer just public perception, it's personal erosion. And what's worse, this time, the alleged tension isn't just external. Insiders say there's growing friction between the couple about how to handle the storm. Meghan reportedly wants to fight publicly, forcefully, legally if necessary. But Harry, he's allegedly pulling back. Not because he's indifferent, but because he's exhausted. He doesn't want to do this again, one source said. He's over the battles. He just wants it to stop. If that's true, it's a chilling echo of the palace years, the push and pull between retreat and retaliation. Except now, there's no firm to absorb the damage, just the two of them, a brand, a baby bottle labeled validation, and a billion memes.
Down with the monarchy! We deserve our privacy!
These people.
Fans have started to notice the silence too. No official statement, no sources close to the couple firing back, just mounting edits, fresh captions, and a social media timeline drowning in pink wine emojis. Meghan may be plotting her counterstrike, but Harry? He looks like he's already surrendered. And if that's the case, what happens if he decides not to play the game at all? Across the Atlantic, things weren't much calmer. Buckingham Palace may pride itself on its stiff upper lip, but don't be fooled. When the South Park yacht teaser hit the global stage, the reaction behind closed doors was far from indifferent. According to two separate royal correspondents, senior aides were immediately looped in. One palace insider claimed Prince William was briefed on the cartoon clip before his morning coffee had even cooled. Not because the monarchy feared legal blowback, but because of something far more subtle: reputational drift. A Sussex scandal is one thing, but when ridicule reaches this level of saturation, it has a way of bleeding across the entire royal brand. As much as the firm has tried to publicly distance itself from Meghan and Harry's post-royal theatrics, their titles remain intact. The family tree hasn't changed, and every time a South Park sketch throws another punch, whether it's at Montecito influencers, crying cartoon babies, or yacht-sailing duchesses, the audience is reminded that this circus began inside the palace gates.
Yes, that's right, friend. You see, my wife and I are totally like, you should write a book because your family like stupid, and then so are like journalists.
According to one royal biographer, that's what has the most senior members worried. The more the Sussexes spiral in public, she said, the more the average viewer starts questioning the system that created them. But not everyone at the palace is reportedly hand-wringing. Some aides, particularly those aligned with Queen Camilla's camp, allegedly found the cartoon parody darkly hilarious. One source even claimed Camilla let out an audible chuckle during a private briefing, reportedly calling the yacht scene vulgar but deserved. That comment, if true, never made it into any official minutes, and for good reason. While the senior royals know better than to publicly acknowledge South Park's barbs, that doesn't mean they don't watch them. Still, the overall strategy from the firm remains consistent. Say nothing, look unbothered, and let the tabloids do the heavy lifting. But behind palace walls, contingency planning is real. Communications teams are reportedly reviewing upcoming engagements with extra scrutiny, double-checking that no senior royals are seen sipping rosé, or even near a yacht-adjacent backdrop for the foreseeable future. They're not going to fuel the fire, one staffer said, but they're not going to get caught in the splash zone either. It's also worth noting that a few palace observers have started to shift their tone. In private WhatsApp groups frequented by royal reporters, there's been quiet speculation that the monarchy might one day step in to draw a sharper boundary between itself and the Sussexes, especially if the parity escalates. Not by stripping titles, which would spark its own war, but by making subtle changes in protocol, representation, and public language. A symbolic uncoupling, the kind that signals, without saying it outright, they are no longer one of us. And if that moment does come, you can bet South Park will be watching, with pens sharpened and storyboard jokes ready.
We'll just have to find a way to make £50 billion on our own.
While the palace maintained its practiced silence and Meghan's team weighed damage control, another front quietly began to fracture the brand. Not the royal one, but the glossy, pastel-filtered, lifestyle-centric empire the Sussexes have spent the last 2 years trying to build from the ground up. Because behind every Archewell podcast episode, every Netflix deal, every rosé bottle with an embossed as-ever label is a business. And when that business is built on image, satire can be fatal. According to 2 separate branding consultants, the yacht teaser didn't just dent their public image, it cracked the foundation. The numbers started shifting almost immediately. Google search volume for Meghan's rosé brand reportedly dropped by 30% within 72 hours of the teaser surfacing. Social engagement dipped. Newsletter unsubscribes spiked, and then came the whispers from inside the partnership pipeline. One lifestyle PR agency, previously touting its alignment with Meghan's timeless femininity meets modern activism aesthetic, went completely dark. Another, which had reportedly been in negotiations to co-launch a capsule kitchenware line under the Sussex brand umbrella, allegedly paused the project indefinitely. When asked why, an anonymous source summed it up in one sentence: no one wants to get memed into irrelevance. And then, the leak. Late Friday afternoon, a private recording surfaced from what appeared to be a brand strategy call. The audio, grainy but damning, was posted to a gossip subreddit and rapidly shared across social media. In it, a male voice, allegedly one of Meghan's key marketing consultants, can be heard saying, "We either distance from the yacht joke immediately, or this entire thing collapses before Q4. The context was vague. The tone, panicked. And while the clip was quickly removed from most platforms, it had already done its job. It confirmed what everyone had been speculating.
So you hate journalists? That's right. And now you wrote a book that reports on the lives of the royal family. Right. So you're a journalist.
That behind the scenes, even her own team was bracing for collapse. That same weekend, an alleged former brand partner, whose identity remains unconfirmed, posted a now viral thread on X. In it, they described their brief time working with Meghan's product development team. The tone was cautious, but the message was unmistakable. The brand was obsessed with image, allergic to parody, and completely unequipped to navigate satire at this scale. One line stood out more than any other: they spent more time scrubbing the internet than building the product. You can't sell serenity while screaming into the void. If even half of that is true, the Sussex rebrand isn't just struggling, it's unraveling, not because of poor taste or underperformance, but because of something far less controllable: laughter. The kind that spreads, sticks, and reshapes perception faster than any official statement ever could. And with the full South Park episode still days away from airing, this may only be the beginning. Somewhere in Denver, the South Park writers' room was reportedly giddy. That's the word one industry source used, giddy, to describe the mood as social media spiraled over a 5-second teaser. Because from the moment the yacht frame dropped, fans knew there was more. The teaser wasn't the joke, it was the fuse. And according to 2 insiders tied to the production pipeline, the team behind the episode didn't just expect this level of chaos, they engineered it. They knew exactly what they were doing. One source said, "The yacht stuff? That's just the opening act. What's coming next may be even wilder." A now deleted tweet from an assistant storyboarder, posted barely 48 hours after the teaser went viral, simply read, "No mercy for privilege. Tuesday's gonna be fun." It was taken down within an hour, but not before it was screenshot and reposted across Reddit, X, and YouTube gossip channels. South Park fans, long accustomed to these breadcrumb-style leaks, pounced immediately. The phrase "no mercy for privilege" has now become a rallying cry, and many believe it hints at a deeper, darker parody taking shape.
Bravo fired me. Well, not really, but basically, they only offered me friend of the housewives for next season.
Whispers from inside the animation studio suggest that the final cut of the episode includes a barrage of brutal cameos, most of which never appeared in the teaser or early leaks. Allegedly, there's an Oprah character who FaceTimes the cartoon Duchess from a gold-plated spa chamber, warning her to reclaim the narrative before she's recast in real time. Another rumored scene shows Tyler Perry ducking under a table while drone cameras explode around a faux Montecito estate labeled Privacy Mansion. But the most controversial alleged gag, if it made it to air, might be a brief flash of a framed portrait aboard the cartoon yacht, a portrait of Princess Diana winking. Let's pause here. That detail, if true, crosses into territory so sensitive, it makes the first worldwide privacy tour look tame. Using Diana's likeness, even in parody, isn't just risky, it's explosive. Her legacy has remained largely shielded from animated satire, especially in shows with the reach and bite of South Park. So if this rumored cameo happens, it will almost certainly trigger outrage, not just from Sussex fans, but from royalists, media watchdogs, and possibly even the palace. That, however, may be exactly the point. One Hollywood analyst said it best: South Park doesn't just chase the outrage cycle, they predict it, they program for it. And right now, they've hit the jackpot. With just one teaser frame, they've reignited royal gossip, destabilized a luxury lifestyle brand, and placed Meghan and Harry's entire media strategy under a cultural microscope. And the episode hasn't even aired yet.
Over, under, around, and through. Meet Mr. Bunny Rabbit, pull and through! I did it!
Good job, Harry.
Inside Comedy Central, executives are reportedly preparing for a viewership spike that could rival the original Sussex roast. Meanwhile, lawyers review final edits, publicists brace, and fans, they're just counting the hours until the bomb drops. Because if this yacht was only the setup, what's coming next might blow the whole ship to pieces. The countdown is over. The date is locked. South Park's most anticipated episode in years is set to air, and insiders say every second has been crafted to sting. Streaming platforms are already bracing for traffic surges. Internal projections at Comedy Central suggest the episode could break their season premiere records, surpassing even the infamous worldwide privacy tour episode that started it all. And yet, as millions prepare to watch the cartoon chaos unfold, the Sussexes remain publicly silent. No formal statement, no damage control article, just tension. Thick, expensive, yacht-sized tension. Behind the scenes, it's anything but calm. According to two well-placed industry sources, Meghan's PR team has quietly pitched counter-content to select media outlets. Think op-eds about cyberbullying. Think pieces on satire and misogyny, and carefully timed Instagram story campaigns. None have been greenlit yet. Editors, they say, are wary of appearing too aligned. This isn't just gossip anymore, one journalist said. It's become a cultural referendum on fame, power, and image management, and South Park just lit the fuse. Even the couple's inner circle seems unsure how to proceed.
Andy, you gotta be kidding me. I've brought plenty of conflict to the show.
I'm sorry, Meghan. It's just not working out. All you talked about all season was your line of ketchup.
One longtime ally allegedly declined to appear on a scheduled podcast episode set to spotlight Meghan's entrepreneurial ventures, citing optics confusion. Another source claims Archewell staff were told to avoid all cartoon references in official social posts until further notice. That silence is being read in 100 different ways online, but one thing's certain, it's deafening. And now, attention has turned to the fallout. If the episode goes as hard as insiders suggest, if it includes the rumored Diana gag, the Oprah spoof, or even a direct nod to Meghan's rosé flop, what's left of their brand? Can Az ever survive a second viral skewering? Can Harry reclaim control over a narrative that now lives in TikTok's memes and storyboard leaks? Some say this might be their tipping point, that after this the public won't unsee the cartoon versions, that satire has fused with perception, that Meghan and Harry, once royal rebels, are now caricatures of their own making. Others argue that if they don't respond, they may finally gain back some mystique, that silence, carefully held, might be the only dignity left to reclaim. But there's a third theory, the one South Park writers seem to be daring into existence, that this isn't about reclaiming anything, that the cultural moment has moved on, that satire has eaten the fairy tale whole, leaving only fragments of what once was, a duchess on a yacht, a prince with a bottle labeled validation, a legacy rewritten in 5-second clips and viral threads. So what now? Do Meghan and Harry strike back, stay silent, rebrand again, or let the whole thing burn? Drop your thoughts below. Do you think South Park has officially ended the Sussex brand, or will this somehow, some way backfire in their favor? Like, subscribe, and stay tuned. The next video is waiting, and you won't want to miss it.